Right here in my front yard food forest beside my peach tree is horseradish. I planted this horseradish, I think it's been 2 years ago that I planted it. Last year, it really kind of struggled to come back, and then this year it's done pretty well. This stalk right here, it went to a flower, but the flowers don't really do anything. The way that you grow these is the same way that you do from comfrey, from root cuttings. So what I'm gonna do, and this will be my very first time doing it, I'm gonna dig this up and I'm going to put some in these little pots here and grow some more. So I have 5 pots right here. I'll leave it right here. It'll probably come back anyway. And I'll also show you what the root cuttings look like because the root cuttings is what you eat off of these. It's what you make your horseradish sauce out of. You can eat the leaves off of this as well, but they're best to eat when they're very young and tender. These large ones like this are not very good. It's supposed to be a very prolific, kind of like comfrey. It hasn't been for me. It also was supposed to be good next to your fruit trees. It's supposed to deter some pests, and it's supposed to bring up some nutrients, and it does a lot of really great things. I can only give you my experience from this one plant. This peach tree is thriving. It's doing very well. I've not had any problems out of it. Of course, I've not had too many problems out of many of my peach trees. It's got the horseradish here. It's got comfrey on the other side. And then I've also got some currants beside it that I started from cuttings last year as well. Again, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna dig this up. I've got my shovel here. It's one of the very best tools on the homestead. I've got my clippers right here, and I'll clip some root cuttings off. And I'm gonna put 5 of them here in this pot. So here it is. It's not really exactly as much as I expected. I expected a little bit more than this. I've dug around in here, I didn't feel any more. So I don't know exactly if this is gonna work or not, but it's worth a try. I'm labeling this as an experiment with horseradish. This is the first one I've done. I'm gonna snip some little bits off here. It's supposed to be, the way I understood it, what I thought was gonna happen was this was gonna be thicker. This may propagate. If you had comfrey like this would definitely propagate into another plant. So I'm gonna take these little ones and we'll put it in here in this soil. I'm gonna put it in here sideways. All these little shoots will go down and create more little roots. And then it'll come up and create a new plant. So I might just put a tiny bit of rabbit poop on top of this as well. And then put it over here next to the rabbits because that's where my spigot is as well. And if I do that, then I won't forget about watering it and keeping it watered. What I'm doing is just putting this laterally flat on the surface right there, and I'm just covering it with just a tiny bit of the soil. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible for it to spring back up. I also divided this into 2. And I'm gonna put one right here back where it was, and I'm gonna put another somewhere next to a different tree.
Blackberries. Delicious. They're a little sour and a little sweet at the same time. We have blackberries. Lots of blackberries on our farm. We have a few thornless and a lot of thorns.
So this is my Granny Smith apple that I ran into with the tractor, and then the dogs ran into as well. Ended up just topping it right here, but it's still growing, and it looks like it's growing above the graft, so it's still good Granny Smith apple, and it's not the rootstock apple tree that's growing here. The horseradish is supposed to be really great for fruit trees, so I'm gonna put this right next to the fruit tree. It's kind of like comfrey in that way. It deters pests, and it also helps bring up good nutrients for it. So I'm gonna put this right here, and I've already got the hole dug for it, and then I'm just gonna cover it back with soil. I'm actually gonna chop these leaves off as well. I'm afraid it's gonna knock it over if I leave it like that. What I think is gonna happen is it's gonna start sending up more shoots right up here from where these stalks are, and it's gonna send down the roots as well. That's really great for it. If I left these up here, then it probably would have fell over and it wouldn't have grown quite as well. So I've just cut this off, and I have I've used that as a green mulch for it. But this is horseradish. It's something that you can use for culinary uses. We can eat it. You can eat the young leaves if you'd like to in a salad or something like that. And then you could also use the root for seasoning and for spices, for sauce, making that horseradish sauce that is famous for use with prime ribs. Really great permaculture use as well. A great companion plant for fruit trees, just like comfrey. If you have any information about horseradish, I would love to have comments down below. This is my first time doing this. I've read a lot about it, and this is what they say to do. I'm trying it, and I encourage you to try some things as well. Get out there into your garden, get out there in the woods, try some things, forage for some things, grow some things, do all of this stuff, because now is the time for you to learn those skills in case you need them in the future. And it's a lot of fun as well to know this this information and to experiment in these ways. If you like things like this, like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, select all, so you never miss a notification. Come back on Sunday nights on YouTube. We have a live stream at 8 p.m. Central Time where Rue and I sit in front of the camera and chat with you, and we'd love to have you at that. Thanks for coming. So this is about 2 weeks after that original footage that was at the very beginning. We have one of the stalks coming back. It's not coming back really fast. It's not coming back nearly as fast as the comfrey does. Of course, the comfrey is a different plant. See it back here? But this has come back, so that's good. And also these that I planted in the pots, here's one of them. About 3 of the 5 have come up. Here's another one. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. It is coming back from the roots, and it's coming back here over by the Granny Smith apple tree. It hasn't done anything there yet. That's not to say that it won't in the future. Again, this is only 2 weeks later. I've kept these in the pots watered. I've done nothing at all to these. I've left them completely alone. Sometimes people ask for updates. Here is the update. We'll give you more updates in the future. Thanks for watching.